What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 196. My name is Harrison, and I am joined by my brother Nick, as always. Nick, we missed you last week. I did a little solo dolo episode
Well, solo dolo, yeah,
just to appease the people. I felt I wasn't gonna do it, and then it was Tuesday morning actually, and I was like, you know what? I got some stuff to talk about. But
I got some feelings. I got some thoughts.
Feelings have been felt. So, anyways, yep. So we're back again. Both of us back. Nick,
Yeah.
you were at a concert, a little sleepy on the way home.
I need a little R&R, need a little rest and relaxation. We went to the concert on Sunday, and I took the day off Monday because we were gonna drive back. And we woke up to, I guess for context, we dropped off our dog Snacks at our friend's house to stay with them.
Yeah.
And they have 2 kids, so it's we if anything we were adding to the chaos a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, we got a call at like 8 a.m. and Snacks had gotten out.
Oh no.
And she had sprinted off.
Oh gosh.
And she had been gone for like 30 minutes at that point. So we left pretty quickly, as if we could have done anything, right?
Yeah.
We were 5 hours away. But I was like, oh, we gotta go. So after like an hour and a half, they found her, and I think she had just like gone to a backyard and just like laid down and chilled a little bit.
Okay.
But it was lucky because Alicia bought an air tag for Snacks, and we have it around her neck.
Yeah.
And it's not great because like it'll only ping from Wi-Fi. So if she were to go off in the woods, it wouldn't work. But I think it can ping off of like anybody's Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
So
anybody's Wi-Fi, and I think anybody's phone too. Like it goes off phones too. So
yeah, I think it goes off phones. But
Yeah.
So we had like her last location, and Alicia was like helping them triangulate where exactly she was in the neighborhood, and they were freaking out. But she ended up being fine. They found her. She was
Well, I mean
she was okay.
I mean, you know, from having Spunky and growing up, I mean, that's part of dog ownership is they are going to get out eventually, and it's gonna
I mean, and she's gotten out with us, but she kind of like just kind of like saunters, like just kind of walks out and then takes herself on a walk a little bit, and then we kind of jog after her and pick her up, and she doesn't sprint away. So we didn't expect her to bolt
right
out of the door, but when we first got her, they told us that she was a runner. And that's kind of that was kind of the case at first. Like she would kind of dart towards the door when we opened it up.
Yeah.
And now it's obviously much better, but I guess just being around, people she doesn't know that well, she was like, "Get me out of here, man!
I gotta go."
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad she's safe, and
she had
a little adventure.
She's fine. So that was a stressful morning, and then that drive from Maryland and really from DC to Raleigh, it's only like it should only be 4 hours, but it's always like 5.5 hours because the traffic in Virginia is just so terrible. And it's not even DC, it's like it's Fredericksburg that just has such awful traffic.
Yeah.
So we got home at like 3 or 4, and then my friend Matthew, he was staying with us that week, and he had gone in the day before. So
okay.
I was like, man, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit tired.
I had a feeling because I had texted you like pretty early in the morning. I was like, podcast night or nah? But I figured it would be a no just because I want like that's like going in the future. Like I want to go to more like more shows and stuff, but they're always at like the most inconvenient times, like in my area. It's like on a Wednesday or like just some impossible day where I don't want to go to a show for 3 or 4 hours, and then I mean, if it's right down the road, then it's whatever. But also, then you got to work the next day, and it kind of like ruins the vibe a little bit. So
yeah, that's kind of how North Carolina is in general. Like we get the Sunday shows or the Thursday night shows. Like there are a couple of like Friday and Saturday night shows that I've been to, but for the most part, and I guess this one was in Maryland, so it's not even North Carolina, but I feel like that's how it is for North Carolina.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's always been that way. I mean, I've been to plenty of shows, but I mean, when you're a teenager, like, and it's summertime, like, who cares?
It doesn't matter.
But when
Yeah,
you're
we've
working
gone to
and
Green
family
Street
and
plenty of times.
yeah, which it's not Green Street anymore. They changed it, which is actually kind of cool because we actually went out for our buddy Antoine's birthday on Saturday. Parents
Mhm.
watched the kids and we went out. Um, and he wanted to go like a club, which we ended up going to one, but we started at Green Street, but it's called like 113 now or something like that. It's still got like the 3-story bar, but it's like
Mhm.
completely redone. Like they've got like glass railings and stuff all around. Like it's super nice.
Dang.
They had like a Tom Petty cover band there, which
Okay, I
is
was gonna
cool.
ask if they still had music there.
Yeah, they had like a big, and it's really cool because like it's still in the same spot where they had the music before, but behind them instead of just that wall, it's actually like a garage door. So like in the summertime, they can just open it up and like play music on the street. It's really cool.
Dang.
Yeah, it's super nice. I mean, and it's the same exact layout, same exact like bar scheme or whatever. It's just really nice. A lot nicer than it was. But
And for the listeners, for context, I mean, who all did we see there? We saw
we
Hands Like Houses, Pierce the Veil,
Pierce the
Falling in
Veil, Fall in
Reverse.
Reverse. I mean, I think I saw.
I saw All Time Low there.
Did I see Ask? No, I saw Asking Alexandria in Raleigh. Yeah, yeah.
I think we
We
saw.
saw.
Did we see Woe Is Me or Issues there at some point? Maybe that was Warped Tour that I'm
I don't think
thinking
I've
of.
ever saw Issues. I know we definitely saw What Was Me. That was at Warp
Yeah,
Tour.
that was a Warped Tour. Yeah, maybe they
No,
didn't come to.
I swore I saw Issues, but maybe I did. Maybe it was just What Was Me. But yeah, super nice bar. Had
Yeah,
a good time. Uh,
nice.
and then we ended up going to this one club. It was right next door, and boy, was it very different than the previous bar. I mean, it was just kind of like it was it was a 2-story. Well, it was on the second story, so it was a 2-story bar,
Hmm.
but it was not a nice bar. Like they only had I think they had like Corona and something else. So we got Corona, but it was like warm almost. Like it wasn't like
Ew.
cold.
Was it tap or was it
It was
like a
bottle. Like it,
bottle?
but it wasn't. I mean, it was like I don't know. It's like when you go to like a grocery store and you get like their beer,
Yeah,
like it's
it's like
not
not. It's
super
not
super cold. Like you got to
cold.
put it into the to your fridge for like an hour or so to get like really cold. But it was warmer than that, so it was
Mm.
I don't know. Just it was yeah, it wasn't great, but
Bad vibes.
yeah, bad vibe. I mean, the vibes were fine. Like it was people were dancing and stuff. It was fine, but
Yeah.
just like I don't think we even. That's all we just drank was just Corona because they didn't have. I don't know. They had like slushies and stuff like in like containers, but they were sitting out on the bar. Like I was like, I don't know if I trust this. But anyway, yeah, but it was still a fun time. And then we came back to the house and had some more drinks and heated up some ribs that I had made the
Of
previous
course.
night as
Of
a
course.
a drunken late snack. Uh, but we really didn't really get that messed up at the downtown area, but it was a good time.
Mhm.
It was a good time. And then
Nice.
Sunday, I just kind of went out. It was super rainy, but I went out and did a little bit of Christmas shopping. It was a good time. It's a good
Good
weekend.
stuff.
And then I got 4 days left, and then I'm off for like 12 days. So I'm
Dude,
ready, man. I'm
that's gonna be
one
sick.
foot out the door right now.
Yeah. I did not do much today. I'm gonna be honest. The work is slowing
I
down.
saw you log in a couple times today.
I did, yeah.
I gotta turn that off because like
Why
the
you getting
achievements pop
FOMO?
up. Yeah, kind of actually. But the achievements pop up on my phone too. Not your achievements, but like when I
I was
unlock
about to
an
say, my
achievement.
God.
Yeah, that'd be weird. But yeah, because it pops up like on my phone as a notification. So I've been meaning to turn it off, but
Mhm.
it's whatever. But well, Nick, let's dive into what we've been playing. I am
Oh
very
yeah.
excited to hear about Baldur's Gate 3 because
Oh
sounds
my
like you are
God.
balls deep into this thing.
I'm so in love with this game.
Oh my god,
I'm
okay,
so
good.
deep into it. So I know you started it with Brittany, right? You guys
Yep.
tried to together.
We're maybe an hour in, literally. Like we spent probably 30 minutes on the character creation, which
Mhm.
is very extensive. It's very cool,
Yes.
and then it's like on par with probably like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk had a pretty.
Which penis did you go with?
I was hoping they had like a dong slider, but they just had like the very like. I just went for like the basic dong. Uh, but yeah, it's pretty detailed, just
Pretty
like
expensive.
Cyberpunk. Yeah. Um, but I ended up going with it's kind of like the devil looking guy, like a devil looking character
Oh, the
class,
tiefling.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
And
might
then I
be it.
have like my companion, which I don't have yet in the game. I'm assuming you
Mhm.
get it later point, but I made her a high elf.
Okay.
Yeah, super detailed. It was cool. But yeah, we really got to like the first boss fight, like after you save that girl out of the pod and then you go into the
Mm.
next room. Um, yeah, we didn't really know what we were doing. Uh, yeah,
It's I will say it doesn't open very well.
okay,
Once you get off of the Nautilus, I think that's what it's called. Once you get off of that and actually get into the world,
yeah,
it's a lot more fun.
okay,
Um, but
yeah,
yeah, just it opens kind of like kind of drab, kind of weird, and it's very confusing too. Like there's a little bit of a tutorial, but you have like 50 radial wheels
yeah.
and
That's the thing. I was sitting there trying to figure it out because I guess I told her I was like, this is like a very hardcore RPG, and I don't think she realized that it was gonna be like turn based. Um,
yeah,
but
I was gonna try to get Alicia to play, but she's like, "Oh, it's turn based."
yeah,
It's like I don't know.
yeah, I think she would have enjoyed it more if it was like The Witcher or something like that, maybe a little
Yeah,
not as hardcore, but um, yeah, and then like trying to learn the controls and the with it being split screen too, like that was kind of difficult because you can't really see the entire like playing a field or whatever, so it's like
yeah.
it's kind of difficult. And then I ended up saving like halfway through that fight, so I think I'm at a point of no return in that fight where I don't think I can win unless maybe I crank the difficulty down and maybe I have a chance. Otherwise, I think we're gonna have to start over. And it didn't.
Okay.
And there's no. And that's also what I don't like is there's no. Seemingly, there's no autosave. I mean, I'm sure there may
There
be
is.
at
It's
some
just very
point, but
circumstantial.
yeah. So that was a little frustrating. But so we
I,
haven't gone
I
back to it since. But
I would maybe try to play it by yourself
yeah,
if Brittany doesn't want to play it anymore because yeah, I played like the first 10 hours by myself and then Matthew came and lucky for me, he's an expert in D&D and this game follows D&D lore.
yeah.
So like he made a character and it's cool. Like you can just make a character and jump right in to
Oh,
their
really? Okay,
party.
that's cool.
Yeah, so he jumped in. He was a level 3 along with me. So like that was great. Like he was completely up to speed from his character's perspective, but he like knew he was like, "Oh yeah, you get one regular move and then you get one bonus move." And he knew like all the spells and that kind of stuff and I was
Wow,
like
that's pretty cool.
I was actually learning stuff from him while I was playing the game.
That's
So
cool.
that helped a ton. And then I mean together we like throughout the week we probably played like 10 hours with me and him and we would spend like 3 hours like clearing the goblin camp and there's a whole conflict between goblins and druids in
Yeah.
Act 1 and we took the path of killing the goblins so we like spent like 3 hours just like going through this camp just killing everybody and then I don't know it's super fun like the act of actually like rolling a dice
Yeah.
to determine if you can do something or if you can't and then just kind of rolling with the consequences
Yeah.
is super fun like I'm really excited like I would start over like if you wanted to start it I would play a campaign with you just because I know it's going to be so different from what I've done so far
Yeah.
like yeah there's just so much choice and freedom that honestly I get why people are comparing this game to Starfield and kind of like shitting on Starfield because it doesn't let you make those choices and roll with those choices.
Yeah.
It makes you feel bad for him essentially. Like, oh, your companion doesn't like this.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing this. This is the
Yeah.
evil route that you're taking right now. Whereas in Baldur's Gate, it's like, okay, you want to kill this guy? That's fine. Like no one's gonna really disapprove of it. I mean, someone might, but you can deal with that consequence later. And it's not like, oh, you're gonna get a bounty on your head, and if you don't pay this bounty, then
Yeah.
you're going to jail. Like there's
Well,
some of that stuff,
that's what
but
people said. It's just like this game is ridiculous on how much choice it actually gives you compared to something like
yeah,
Starfield. Like you can't even kill most of the people. Like if you can't kill anybody that's like a main point to the story.
no. And I've had multiple instances where I can either throw my companions under the bus or flat out kill them.
That's hilarious. So have you seen like any of the wilds? I'm sure you have, like any of the wild, just crazy scenarios or anything like that.
I did. I walked in. I like went up to a house, and this is fairly early on, but I walked into a house or walked up to one, and it went to a cutscene, and I was like, you hear something going on in the inside of the house, and it gives you an option of what you want to do, and it's like either knock or leave or bust down the door, and I chose to bust down the door,
Of
and I
course.
walk in, and it's like this like probably human size ogre, and then this 15-foot ogre just getting on. I'm like, what are you
I
doing?
have seen that trailer, yeah. And then like you just
Yeah.
or not trailer, but that cutscene or whatever. And then you just like start fighting them.
Yeah, and then you just start fighting. So that was the only like uh explicit thing I've seen. Everything else has just been interesting moments that I didn't think would happen. Like I think I tweeted about this the other day, but you'll get a quest from somebody and they'll say, "Oh, this person's evil. You need to go kill them."
Yeah.
Or you need to go find them or hunt them down. And it's like, okay, that seems pretty straightforward. I believe what you're saying right now. They sound pretty evil. And then you walk up and it's just like a normal person
Yeah.
trying to escape from whoever their master is. And then I talked to them a little bit more. And then
So, well,
by
you're
the end
not
of it,
actually
I had
trying
a,
to
I
do
had
it.
a companion that was in my party. And then we
Nice.
went back and we killed the people that initially gave me the the objective.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So it's I don't know, it kind of just turns a lot of stuff on its head like
Yeah.
that. Like nothing is ever straightforward,
Okay.
which
Well,
is which is really cool.
that's my plan is now when I go on break, um, I'm gonna dive in pretty deep, um, or maybe get in a little bit, and then once I understand the game, then maybe Brittany can jump in. Since she can, I guess whenever you create a character or you bring in a character, they're just whatever they just upscale the level to your character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll upscale.
Okay, that's cool. Sweet. Well, I'm glad it's awesome. I really want to play it. I mean, obviously, it took the game of the year. For what it's worth, people people are still crying over
Sleep.
Spider-Man. Like, I want to talk about without you for a second because I just from the kind of general consensus on the
Mhm.
internet is like last year it was clearly Elden Ring and God of War
Yeah,
as
yeah.
game of the year, not potential. Like everything else kind of didn't really matter. And this year it seemingly was going to be Tears of the
Tears of the
Kingdom
Kingdom.
and Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And but all of a sudden, the next day comes around and I see so many people on TikTok, on Twitter, of the PS Pony Boys crying over Spider-Man. It's like nobody. I don't think Spider-Man was even.
I don't think it was in the running. Oh yeah, obviously
It
it was
was
in the running.
nominated, but it was like almost like is nominated because it had to be nominated. I don't know. I mean, maybe not. I'm sure a lot of people like Spider-Man too, but um,
Yeah, I mean, I thought Spider-Man 2 is objectively on paper a really great game or a great game. I will
yeah,
say objectively on paper a great game, but it didn't really do anything to stand out from the first one.
yeah.
And
I mean, you played. I have not, for context. You've finished it,
yeah, yeah, I beat it.
but I feel like
Um,
I feel like I liked Spider-Man 1 more than you did.
yeah, you did.
Okay.
I like Spider-Man 1, and I think the web swinging in Spider-Man 2 is phenomenal and feels really good. I think the combat is fine. Like it's a
It's a really great sequel, is what it is.
yeah,
But it
it's a
didn't
great
like do
sequel.
anything, and we don't expect like same thing with God of War. Like I loved Ragnarok. Like it was an incredible game, an
Yeah.
incredible experience, story. Dad quest. It was awesome. I loved it. But like looking back, like it didn't really do that much different. It was a more refined experience with maybe a little bit too much, like for me, like all like I don't know, all the extra percentage buffs and stuff for the different weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that, like I like that stuff, like in Dark Souls or in Elden Ring and stuff. But for that game, I was like, this is a little bit too much. But otherwise, I like that game a lot.
Yeah, man. And then you look at Tears of the Kingdom, and that's a sequel as well. But I feel like that introduces a lot more new mechanics
Yeah,
than Spider-Man 2 does. And overall, I think Tears of the Kingdom is a way better game than Spider-Man 2.
yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom sets itself apart more from Breath of the Wild than Spider-Man 2 does from Spider-Man.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. So
Makes
I
sense.
don't understand why people thought it was
Well, people,
it was
my biggest
necessarily any
thing, and
different.
who knows if they're lying or not, but they're like, what is Baldur's Gate 3? Like, what is that game? What is Alan Wake 2? I'm like, do you live under a rock? Like, yeah, even if you don't play it, like, it was the most talked about game, like, for like 2 months straight. It had almost 1 million concurrents uh, on Steam.
Steam. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
there's no
like
way.
if you care, if you're watching the Game Awards and you care about Spider-Man 2 losing, I think you would at least know about Alan Wake 2 or Baldur's Gate 3. Like,
And that's why I had made a TikTok, and it ended up getting flagged for like bullying, and I had to take it down because it got blocked. But I was responding to somebody who was like, "Oh, what is Baldur's Gate 3? What is Alan Wake 2?" And I was like, I'm convinced. I'm convinced at this point that the hardcore pony, and I think I said meat riders, and I think that's what
oh,
is what triggered
dude,
it.
you're
But
getting too deep. You're
yeah.
getting too deep.
But I was like, all right. I was like, I'm convinced that they just live in a bubble, like, and they don't play anything outside of first party PlayStation games. They don't even play third party stuff. They just play first party.
That's fair.
I feel like it was a
You got
valid point.
flagged?
Yeah, they were like, we blocked your video for bullying or something. So I don't know if that original person like came back
Yeah,
and
they might
flagged
have.
it, but because I had like tagged, like I did like a stitch or whatever.
Right.
So
Gotta be
I
careful
wasn't
with those
like
stitches.
super mean. I was just like, come on, like you live in a bubble. If you don't know what these games are, at least what they are, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. Anyways, yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, good stuff.
Okay, now tell me about Sea of Stars. I know you've put some time into it.
You mean my game of the year so far? It's just no, it's man, I love it, dude. It's so good. I was in the mood for an RPG, and since we were like putting
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 down, I was like, you know what? I've got it on Game Pass. Let me just boot it up for an hour and just see how it goes. Because I was like, because you had said that's very similar to Super Mario RPG. I
Yeah.
was like, let me boot it up. So I gave it a shot and spent like 3 hours on it. I think I'm like 7 or 8 hours. I just beat the Dweller of Woe, which
Is that in the poison area?
yeah, it's in like the dark. I can't remember what it's called, but
The the area where like everyone's like doomed.
yeah, or they get like taken away by this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just beat that, and I'm on like the main twist so far, which I saw coming kind of in some regard, but um
Trying to
I don't want
remember.
to spoil anything, but
Does something happen to somebody or not?
so I haven't actually watched the cutscene yet, but I beat it, and then because they do like a really cool thing where they'll actually have like animated cutscenes for some parts, and it looks
Yeah,
really
that was
really
part of
cool.
the stretch goals for the Kickstarter.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks really cool, but yeah, I'm on that scene, so I don't know officially what happens, but you do get like betrayed, um, in a
Oh,
twist
oh,
of
okay.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep, yep, yep. Okay.
Um, So I kind of saw it I saw it coming a mile away, but I didn't know who was going to do it. But yeah, so far I am loving the combat. It feels like, again, like Mario RPG or Paper Mario, where it keeps you involved.
Yeah, you're not gonna fall asleep
Yeah, you're not gonna fall asleep
playing
playing
this
because
one.
you have to. Which I was playing earlier, or was it? Yeah, it was earlier on my lunch break. My controller was gonna die, or it was about to die, and I didn't realize that when your controller's dying, it takes off the rumble feature. I guess to
Yeah,
preserve a
yeah.
little bit of battery. So I was like sitting there, and I was like, all right, what's going on? Like I usually get like a tactile feedback for this, and I guess I was still hitting the extra attack whenever you attack, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, and then I was like, all right, well, let me switch controllers. And then I was like, oh wait, rumble is probably taken off or removed.
It's crazy how much of a difference that makes.
Yeah, it really does. And then I was getting back into the flow of things. But yeah, I mean, I love the characters. The story so far is really good. Just like traversing the environment
Super fun.
is super fun. It feels like a mixture of, like, again, like Super Mario, um, Paper Mario, whatever, and then I kind of like Zelda as well, because each area has like a kind of like a dungeon. They're not super hard, but there is,
Yeah.
like, slight puzzles, and you get like a grappling hook, which is awesome. Like,
Oh yeah, it's sick.
yeah, this would
Yeah,
be
traversal's so good in this game.
this would be, and this is not like to demean the game or anything, but if someone was to say, hey, I need a game to recommend for my first JRPG or RPG or whatever, I would say Sea of Stars is your answer, because
Yeah.
it's not overly challenging, but there is a slight challenge to it, and the puzzles aren't super hard, but the story is engaging, and the combat is super fun.
Yeah. Keeps you involved. And man, overall I love this game so much. I want to go back and 100% it, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of collectibles I still need to get.
just another game that I'm adding to my list of.
Yeah, have you even finished
I have not. Well, today
Mario RPG?
I wrote everything down. No, I have not played any more RPG. So I gotta beat that. I've got to beat Wonder, Sea of Stars. I do want to play Dave the Diver and then Baldur's Gate 3. So we'll see. It's a lot.
Well, how far are you in Wonder? You on like World 4?
Yeah, we're up 4. So I got a couple worlds
You could
left.
you could grind through that one in an afternoon, in an
Yeah.
evening. Sea
Um,
of Stars is probably 25 hours.
about 25. Okay, cool. So I'm about 7.5 hours into that, I think. So I'm pretty deep into it.
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk about our game of the year list so far? Have you narrowed it down yet, or are you still kind of working at it, or have you started it all?
No, I mean I've had a rolling list
Okay.
all year. I mean, do you even want to talk like
I've got my games played list. This is everything that I've played, and putting some meaningful time into, and then I've got, so on my still need to play, I've got Baldur's Gate 3 down and Dave the Diver. I definitely want to check Dave the Diver out. But on my games played, I've got Fire Emblem Engage, because I feel like I put enough time into that to make a judgment of that. Dead Space, Metroid Prime Remastered, Wolong, RE4, Dredge, Bramble the Mountain King, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin 4, Armored Core 6, Sea of Stars, Starfield, Lies of Peen, Cocoon.
Lies of Peen?
I saw someone put that on Twitter. Mario Wonder, Alan Wake 2, and Super Mario RPG is my full list of everything that I've put.
It's everything you've played, not just everything you've finished, right?
Yeah, everything. It's pretty much everything I put a respectable amount of time into. A lot of these I've finished, but some I have not.
Okay. All right, my list is we're gonna have a similar list: Fire Emblem Engage, Dead Space, Metroid Prime Remastered, Hi-Fi Rush, Resident Evil 4, Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin 2, Dredge, Pikmin 4, Vampire Survivors, Starfield, Sea of Stars, Lies of P, Armored Core 6, Cocoon, Super Mario Wonder, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario RPG, Baldur's Gate 3, and then games that I'm not gonna finish, but I've played Atomic Heart, Wolong,
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler 2. I still want to finish Jedi Survivor.
Oh my god, that's not even
I
on
think
my
that's
list.
it.
Jesus Christ. Is it not on my list, really? No, I didn't say it. Okay.
Hey man, it's a big list.
Man, this year's been shout out to this year. It's been a good year.
It's been a great year. Okay, so maybe instead of giving away games on our list, let's name 3 games that are gonna miss our list this year that you know
Okay.
for a fact
I like that.
will not make your list.
Um I mean, just out of the ones that I've mentioned, probably Bramble. I I I like did you play that game?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So those who don't know, Bramble's like a Nordic style game, set in like the Nordic time or whatever, but it's kind of like Little Nightmares, that 2D style game,
Mm.
where you're pretty much like running from all the monsters. It's got a really cool design. Looks really nice. Um, Not quite as good as Little Nightmares in my opinion, but still solid, and it's on Game Pass, so it's
Yeah,
uh it's good. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna make my list. You want to do all three at the same time, or to go one by one?
we can do one by one.
Okay, cool.
Um, it's a big one. Starfield isn't gonna make my list. I put 50 hours into this game, and I really liked it. I thought it was good, but it was definitely disappointing with the amount of hype
Yeah,
that was pushed into this game. And you know, hopefully Elden Ring 6 is better because it should take place on one continent or one landmass or whatever. But this game was just brought down by the scope of it and by all of the loading screens. It just completely
yeah,
took me out of the immersion. And that's not something I normally complain about, but with this game, I mean, you play for 10 minutes and you're going through 3 loading screens.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
I
kind of
think
crazy.
I think I'm also on the same page. I think I can say that Starfield's probably not gonna make my list. Same reasons you mentioned. I mean, just
Yeah.
and just man, I the over encumbrance. Please stop. It is so annoying. It really is, and I get it for like an immersion, but it's like okay, you want it to be an immersion style game, but then you have people that aren't even looking at you when you're talking to them, looking away, or I don't know. It's just yeah. I think I'm
Yeah.
over Bethesda's style of RPGs. I really hope they take the criticism of Starfield and apply that to the next Elder Scrolls because I'm not a big Fallout guy. I really like 3. 4 I didn't like so much, and then Starfield. And while I do want to go back and play some more of the missions because I haven't done all the side stuff. Um, I do want to go back and play it, but I'm worried about Elder Scrolls. I'm worried about if it's just gonna be the same thing.
If you were to play Skyrim for the first time in this day and age, do you think you would like it as much?
Yeah, it's a hard question to ask, but also like I like the setting of like
Mm.
Elder Scrolls way better than I do Starfield and Fallout. I don't think Bethesda does a great job with like futuristic stuff, in my opinion. I just prefer the
That's fair.
medieval kind of setting. I think it blends better with their style of gameplay and storytelling and immersion type stuff, and just like
Mhm.
the way they talk and the NPCs and stuff like that. I think it feels better in that setting. But again, if Elder Scrolls 6 was to come out tomorrow and it's this, I don't know how. It's like, would I have the same exact criticisms, even though they're the same thing, but it's in a different setting? I don't know.
Yeah, how much does
So
that matter
yeah,
against
so yeah, I'm pretty worried about Elder Scrolls 6 and how much I'm actually gonna enjoy it, or if maybe just Bethesda. RPGs aren't my cup of tea anymore, which is a shame. But it's obviously a on Game Pass, so I can try it without
Well,
dropping
by
money on
the
it.
time that I keep saying Elden Ring. By the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, Kellen will probably be the same age that you were when Skyrim came out.
Well, Skyrim came out like when I was what 16, 17? I think I was
That's what I'm
17
saying.
or 18.
10 years from now,
God,
when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
yeah. And like I think they're working on other ways of transportation in Starfield, which I don't know if that means vehicles or something like that. So
But is that going to fix it though? Because I don't really want to travel too far when I land on
yeah.
a planet.
Yeah, I mean, I know we'll talk about it during the game of the year stuff, but yeah, I was pretty disappointed with that. I know, and again, like it's again the whole immersion thing and like the realism they tried to go for. Just let me fly to planet. Like it's not that big of a deal.
Just make it a short. Just make it
Just make it
like,
short.
yeah.
I was hyped for that game. I fell into the hype train of it, and then it really disappointed me. But it's still a solid game. Don't get me wrong. Like I had a good time, but
No, it's a good game.
yeah.
Like it's arguably a really great game. That
I think the over encumbrance. I think that's probably the most out of everything that really irked me.
yeah, like why can't you just send things directly to your ship
Yeah.
or somewhere
And then
else?
you
Like
you
Baldur's Gate
could
has
do
that.
it, but you had to be in a certain proximity of the ship, and the game doesn't tell you that ever. I don't think, unless it's like in like
No,
the
it doesn't.
like a loading screen or something. Yeah, super. I'm bummed out about it.
I'm
Bummed
bummed
out.
out, man. I'm bummed out. All
Um,
right, so that might miss your list as well. Do you?
that was my two. What was your? That was my
I
second one.
think
What's your second one?
I think Dredge is gonna miss my list.
Nick.
And the thing is I don't have anything bad to say about that game. I think
A lot of good games this year.
yeah, it's just there were 10 other games that I like more
Yeah.
than Dredge. Um, Dredge was really great though. I really did enjoy that game.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be on my list, but there's a lot of stuff as well that yeah, it's gonna be a little bit challenging, but
Yeah. All right, what's your third?
my third is Fire Emblem.
That's
Fire
fair.
Emblem Engage, yeah. I really like those Game Boy Advance games a lot, and I think I loved them because they were so simple. There was story, but there wasn't like a ton of cutscenes and stuff like that. Which hey, I'm all down for a solid cutscene, but
Well, there were cutscenes, but you could just kind of
yeah,
skip through them without as much guilt as
yeah, and
you
maybe
would.
maybe the cutscene is not what I'm implying, but just all the in between stuff that they seemingly make you
Oh yeah,
do.
yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of. I wasn't a fan of like doing like the little side battles with the rings and stuff. I just wanted to get down to the gameplay, and
hmm
uh and I wasn't even like super vibing with that either. So
See,
yeah,
I think Engage has some of the best gameplay in the series. Like I think
yeah,
the gameplay is miles better than Three Houses, and I loved Three Houses, and it's arguably better than even
yeah,
Fates and an Awakening. But the story of that game kind of sucked.
yeah.
Which at the end of the day, like I'd rather the gameplay be good than the
But
story.
I mean, like, who's actually coming to Fire Emblem for a story? Like Three
I
Houses,
don't
like was
know.
was that kind of like the best story that they've had?
Yeah, that was the best.
Okay,
That was the best story. And even that
yeah,
one wasn't anything too crazy, but
yeah.
people
I may go back and
love
finish it
the
at
Three
some point,
Houses.
but whenever there's like a lull, but yeah.
Yeah.
What's your third? That's not making it on your list.
Probably Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Miss it. Yeah. Again,
Again, there's a lot of stuff, man.
it's one of those things like yeah, it's objectively like on paper really great, but it just doesn't feel like it has like a ton of personality, or it doesn't really take a risk in either direction.
Yeah.
And I feel like that just kind of comes off as like a little bit vanilla, a little bit like classic, current day and age Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
Where it's like, yeah,
I can feel
it's
that.
going to be entertaining.
Yeah,
That's
and if you didn't, I mean, if you didn't absolutely love the first one, chances are you're probably not gonna like love the second one unless something in the story or gameplay wise just blows you away, and it didn't. Sounds like that wasn't the case for this, which is fine. I mean,
yeah. Hey, but now no one can come after me. Neither Starfield nor Spider-Man 2 is making my list. So
yep,
Xbox and PlayStation
and I
covered.
got Nintendo covered, so I mean,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Well, I don't want to give away our list any more than that. But yeah, it's gonna be. I've got some stuff starred that I know is gonna be a lock in, but it's like, all
Where
right,
does it fall?
it's like, all right, I've got like 13 things starred, so I've got to cut something.
I have my top 5 like nailed down,
No, do
and
you? Okay,
I don't
I
think
haven't
it's gonna
gotten that far
change.
yet.
But I've been tinkering with my bottom 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, State of Stars. If that game can end on a high note, I mean that has a chance of being very high up on my list.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. All right, well let's There's not a lot of news this week, so we're gonna talk about Nick. I want to know your thoughts. We haven't talked about the Game Awards since it aired. I mean, we kind of had some drinks and stuff, and then by the time that show's over, you're just like ready to be done.
I'm ready, man. Ready for that show to end.
So yeah, I kind of briefly gave my thoughts on it on my solo dolo cast last week, but now that we're kind of removed away from it, how are you feeling? How are the vibes?
I think I agree with you for the most part. It's like every Keeley show has the same problem of starting off relatively strong or really strong, and then it dies down for a little bit in the middle, but then it stays died down for the rest of the show, and you're like, oh, wait, you're hyping yourself up. You're like, okay, it's just a small lull. They have these advertisements. They have all these advertisers that are doing their thing. It'll pick back up for the last hour.
Yeah,
and it just didn't.
Just
like I can't even remember what was announced from the Game Awards.
I mean, we got OD, the new
right
Jordan
sure.
Peele and Kojima Productions, which we don't really know what this game is. It's some sort of horror / movie game. I don't know, but it sounds like it's gonna have like more than one collaborator. So obviously, with Jordan Peele is pretty cool. Like he's like kind of a mastermind with horror right now.
Seems like it's gonna be episodic.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
The vibe I'm getting from it.
Some people are like thinking like maybe Guillermo, yeah,
Del Toro.
Del Toro is going to be involved.
I'm sure
at some point as well because he's obviously pretty good at horror stuff. I mean, I'm excited for it. I mean, Kojima's stuff is very interesting for the most part. I mean, I have not played Death Stranding, but I know a lot of people do like that game. A lot of people are excited for Death Stranding too. Obviously, Metal Gear Solid is incredible. Again, I never played those games, but and then PT was like
that was incredible.
It was incredible. It was such an incredible experience. It's a shame that we never got something out of that, but I mean, I'm excited. It's an Xbox exclusive. Xbox people get their Kojima exclusive game. I think a lot of people like a big criticism of the show is like they're cutting off like all these developers like giving speeches like. Larian's on stage, I guess the head of the studio, and like right when they were like, all right, you got to wrap it up. They're talking about someone who died during development, and it's just like it's not Game Awards' fault because they didn't like mean to time it up, but it kind of just feels bad.
They overcorrected for sure.
Yeah, and then they were supposed to at the end of his speech announce that hey, it's on Xbox right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the whole point of the show is obviously. People come to watch for the awards, but I don't know. Developers do care about getting awards, so there's got to be a little bit more of a give. Like you don't want everybody to have a 5-minute speech, but I mean, again, I said in the podcast last week, like look at AJ Aonuma on stage, like the head of Zelda right now, and you're telling this man to wrap it up. Are you serious? After like 45 seconds, and he's got a translator on the stage. Like, come on.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that like I'm a gamer. I care about the announcements. Like that's
Yeah,
why that's ultimately why we watch it. Like
we
of course
probably
we care
wouldn't
about
stream it
game.
if there wasn't any crazy announcements.
No. Like we love the game of the year. All the categories they have, but we watch it because of the announcements. That being said, I think they need to spend less time on the celebrities and more time on
Yes, please.
the developers themselves because you know develop, developers put blood, sweat, and tears in all these games, and this is kind of uh their space to kind of talk about how grateful they are or talk about how hard they worked,
Yeah.
and no one got that opportunity. Like they did that joke with Christopher Judge where they started playing the music after 10 seconds when he started talking, and
Yeah.
then it kind of felt like they were doing the same thing to everybody else. It
They're
was
like,
like,
you're
shit,
prepared. This
what?
is how it's going to be the entire show.
Yeah, so that was weird.
And then you had that one sports guy, that guy, I can't remember his name, but he came out. He had like the broken foot or leg, whatever. Like
That was
he
Leo.
had more time talking about how he broke his foot than like any of the award winners got. Like it's yeah. Let's focus on celebrities. Just
Right.
like I like Timothy Chalamet, but why was he there? Why was he presenting the
Well,
game of the year?
right, yeah, like of course, yeah, sure. He had a YouTube channel making modded Xbox 360 controllers, but like, come on, like you could have got someone more involved in the current gaming industry
Yeah.
to give that award. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Yeah, it's very and I
Strange.
get it. You got to appease the advertisers and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not something I necessarily envy with Jeff Keighley because I mean it's I know it's a lot of work and he's very proud of it and stuff like that. But
Mm.
yeah, now that E3 is officially dead, Jeff Keighley's got the lock on
Oh my
all
god, he
gaming.
does.
He's got the monopoly for all
It's the
gaming related.
Keelyverse.
Yeah, so it's like all of his shows are kind of like you said, like they start decently strong, but they never really end super strong.
And I'm
Depends. It just depends on what's there, but yeah, when you watch an hour and a half of like free to play garbage and then you get to the end and I'm sure Monster Hunter fans are happy about Wilds getting announced, but for me it's like
I mean,
I'd really
I'm a
rather see
Monster
Elden
Hunter
Ring.
fan, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I wasn't really hyped for it. I don't know. It's just weird going in. Like, we know that he's going to have a 20 minutes segment dedicated to Kojima to show off whatever thing he's working on, and
And it
like
wasn't even like gameplay or anything. It was just like an
yeah,
idea and a concept of what they're doing.
yeah. So I almost wish he had better relationships with other developers like Nintendo or even PlayStation, because the PlayStation didn't have a ton aside from like the Valhalla DLC, and then
Which I heard like story wise, it adds
I heard that
on
was
like a
incredible.
pretty decent amount. So yeah, I kind of want to play it.
Yeah, I want to get play it.
Yeah, Nintendo wasn't there at all, right? They didn't have anything,
No, they had nothing.
which it makes sense. I mean, they're ramping up for Switch 2 stuff next year, so I don't know. The rumor is there's going to be some sort of blowout January special for Nintendo. We'll see.
Did did Nintendo Prime say that?
He probably did. That's what I've seen on like Twitter and
I
stuff.
don't trust. If he says that, I don't trust it.
It's like, man, where do you get all this stuff from? Ugh.
He probably gets it from Reddit
Yeah,
or
there'll either be something in January or there'll be a February direct, like there
okay.
normally is. That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, and then PlayStation wasn't there, but Xbox was there. They had some pretty cool stuff. They had the
They had
OD. They had what else do they have?
Hellblade actual gameplay, which
Gameplay.
looks really good.
Still no trailer or still no release date. So that'll
2024.
probably be holiday next year, maybe. I hope it's sooner than that, man. I really want to play it. And then
Yeah,
Blade. We got Blade, of course.
yeah. Shoot, I forgot about that. But
Which people were kind of jumping into the news, but people were upset that it wasn't there wasn't any sort of Xbox branding on that. So a lot of people were coming out. They didn't know if it was going to be multi-platform or Xbox exclusive, but we're pretty sure it is now. Unless Xbox comes out and says that it's not, but they officially put the trailer up on their YouTube page, which they hadn't done until recently. So that was kind of like the whole big thing. And it's got the Xbox branding on it and stuff now. But yeah, Blade looks really cool. Coming from Arcane Leon behind Deathloop. So
Yeah,
Pretty excited for
definitely
that.
been in Dishonored. Not Redfall, so
Not Red.
don't
Yes,
worry.
whew, not Redfall. But interesting enough, we're getting two vampire games, right? From Arcane. Granted,
Oh
they're
god.
different studios of Arcane, but um, yeah, it's a third person. I'm interested to see how they do that.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited for third person.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be cool.
which I think they're trying to tap into the Spider Man and into the Wolverine and stuff like that to kind of get a
Yeah.
piece of that pie. So I mean, hopefully they can do some really interesting stuff with the gameplay because we know it's probably going to be open world, I would imagine. But hopefully they do some really
Mhm.
interesting stuff, like some arcane interesting stuff with the gameplay.
Yeah, and I think if anyone were to be developing a kind of like a stealth vampire type game, like it would be Arcane.
Yeah,
And
they're the ones to do it.
I know they kind of already did it with Redfall, but that's very different. That's a what do you call it? Not multiplayer, but squad. It's like a squad base. That
Squad
Redfall
based
squad base.
shooter. Yeah,
It's not a single player game, kind of.
yeah. So that looks cool. I'm excited to see what that turns into. We didn't get a release date for that, right? Just a trailer.
No, no,
So probably 2025, 26 maybe.
26.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
which I mean, there's rumors and speculation about the next Xbox is going to be
2026.
2026. They're skipping the Pro, which I think we'll get like a revision because it was I mean that leaked stuff happened a couple months ago, um, with the Bethesda leaks that it showed like that revision of the Series X.
I mean, that would be 6 years.
Yeah, I mean I think people forget like that's generally the time span between consoles. Like the Xbox 360 was like 8 years, and that's not typical
And that's
for.
because that one was wildly popular.
Yeah, that was just insanely popular. They could just keep rolling. But yeah, 6 years is pretty on par.
Like the one was 7 years because it went from 2013 to 2020.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, that was 7 years. So yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily mind. 6 years is plenty of time, and especially if there's not going to be a like a pro version in between because we're supposed to be getting a pro PS5 next year. Which man, like, sure, I guess. I still feel like we're barely into this generation, but
Oh yeah, I mean it's just because there have been so many cross-platform games.
yeah,
I guess Spider-Man was really the first one that actually that one didn't. I don't know. I don't know if that one could have ran on PS4. Maybe it could have.
no, I don't think with that loading probably
Yeah,
couldn't.
yeah, not with the loading. All of
Um,
that.
so yeah, I mean, I thought that overall the show was fun. It's always fun to stream and talk over and stuff, but yeah, it's just another kind of Jeff Keighley let down show. It was I don't know.
Yeah,
It makes me not excited for like this is the big one in like the Summer Games Fest or the what is it the summer is it Summer Games Fest?
yeah. Summer Games Fest
Like that one's like
sounds okay.
yeah, I'm not super.
But if there's no E3,
Yeah, I feel like I just get every time I watch a Jeff Keighley event, I get less excited for the next one.
yeah.
Um,
And I guess yeah, for E3, like if Nintendo is doing their own thing and then Xbox has their own showcase, then it's really just gonna be third party stuff
yeah, which
at
is
Jeff.
fine. Like if the game industry can get together somehow and say, hey, all right, we want to do our own events on each day. Let's just do a day. Like we're gonna go on Sunday. Game Fest would be on Monday. PlayStation does this, and then Xbox does their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be really cool. Like that would be the whole E3 kind of vibe that we want. But I don't think they're all gonna. I feel like Xbox would probably like maybe be the only one that would be willing to do that, and Nintendo
Yeah.
and Sony are like, no, we no.
It's crazy what last place is willing to do.
Yeah, right. But hey, big shout out to Xbox people buying Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, it's topping the paid charts, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully it sells really well on Xbox.
I bet it will. I think it's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know Xbox people were excited that it was coming.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
mean,
cool.
did it do well on PlayStation?
I don't know. I feel like as soon as it came out and Larry and their Xbox were trying to figure it out, like the PlayStation community was just like, nah, I'm good.
Hmm.
I
I
could be
know it was
wrong.
really hyped up by like hardcore PlayStation fans when it was getting reviewed and getting released on PC,
Yeah,
and everyone was like, "Oh, this is like PlayStation's game. This is a good exclusive to have."
but
And then it came out
that's the
on
thing though.
PS5. It's
Was
not.
it that they wanted that game? And I'm talking about specifically the hardcore Sony people, but did they want that game or do they want it because it was an exclusive? And then when they found out it wasn't going to be exclusive,
I didn't really care.
they didn't really care for it because I
Yeah,
didn't see anybody talking about it, the PS5 version, anything about
no, I didn't.
sales,
I didn't see
anything
much
about
on it.
yeah. So I don't know. There's just plenty, but
Yeah.
and then let's see. Yeah, we talked about all the big three companies there.
Oh, do you want to do our gaming in
Oh yeah,
review?
yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. So let's. I feel like this is the first time Xbox has done this, right?
they had a version of it
But it wasn't this
last year, but it
detailed.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like
Okay.
this.
Well, I guess We'll start with PlayStation because I know mine is zero. I didn't play PlayStation at all this year, and that's
Wow,
yeah.
what an Xbot.
What an Xbox. I don't have a PS5, so I can't play any. Otherwise, I would have definitely played Spider Man, at some point. But yeah, I did not boot it up at all. Which I will. I will be booting up the PS4, uh, to check out that God of War, Valhalla DLC. But yeah,
Mhm.
big fat zero for me on PlayStation's front.
And mine was number one was Spider-Man 2. I think I put like 20 hours into it. Number two was Bloodborne, and that was just me going back to beat that final DLC boss. And
Yep.
then I think Dying Light was number three. Uh, I didn't play much PS5 this year. I mean, especially compared to last year with God of War.
M
So
Bison, if you're still in the chat, he asked, do you think Switch 2 will be able to run GTA 6?
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a
If it's
no on that one.
let's see, it's 2025. Let's see, the Switch 2 if it launches next year, it'll probably be like as powerful as a Series
I don't
S,
expect it to
maybe.
be as powerful as like a PS5 or Series X.
Maybe Series S
Maybe yeah,
level.
maybe Series S. And could it run GTA 6? Absolutely. I mean, The Witcher 3 runs on that relatively well. Is GTA 5 on Switch?
No.
See if that's not even on there.
And that I mean that was on 360, so like that
Yeah.
could run on Switch, but then they have to have like the entire GTA Online ecosystem
Yeah.
as well. And that would
Yeah,
probably screw
I
them.
don't foresee it running on the Switch too. Yeah, and something like that, I don't. I would just prefer to play it on Xbox or PS5.
Mhm.
Um,
I wouldn't count on it to
you
say
believe
the
it'll
least.
run and look better than the Series S? Okay, I mean we don't really know. I mean I know there's a lot of speculation on the hardware side of what this thing is running, um, but nobody
If it
actually really knows
like if
until
it I don't know though, like if it's still if it's still a hybrid, I do wonder how powerful they could get it, but then I look at something like the Steam Deck and that can run pretty powerful games fairly well. Like it's running, you know, all the newer games, but
yeah.
I don't think
Yeah, but then
I
you
don't
got to
think the
take into
Switch 2
like
will be
price. It has to come into factor. Like I just don't see a world where Nintendo's charging $500
400,
for a Switch.
$500. Yeah, it
Like
would maybe be
maybe,
350.
yeah, maybe. I mean, I could see 399, like 400. Well, just because it sells great on the Switch doesn't mean it's gonna run great on the Switch too. But I mean, hopefully it was. I'm like, it's GTA. We want to see that on. It's not an exclusive or anything. So hopefully it runs great on the Switch. But if the past Nintendo is anything to use, it's probably not gonna run super great. But I would like
Yeah.
to be surprised. I don't plan
I
on playing it on Switch 2 at all, anyways. But
I will say, like, I'm sure Rockstar is looking at the current performance of the Switch, or current like sales performance of the Switch, and thinking like, we
yeah,
gotta get
I'm sure.
games
I'm
on
sure
there.
if they can make it happen, Rockstar will make it happen, and I'm sure Nintendo would want it to be on there too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm sure the trilogy probably sold pretty good. I don't know the numbers for it.
I mean, and then Red Dead Redemption 1, like that one was ported to the Switch as well. Like, I wonder how well that did. Like,
Yeah,
I wonder what the audience is for those more mature games is
I think it's
on the
pretty good.
Switch.
I mean, I think it's I
It's
think
pretty good.
yeah. I but see, then it's like okay, and it's also like the mindset of other people that play games, but maybe they only own the Switch. You know, they don't own an Xbox or PS5 because I don't know. But since we've had like a GameCube or especially like the Wii was always the worst version, and sometimes even a
Mhm.
completely different game because there's just no way
Yeah.
that like World of War or Call of Duty 4 are going to run on that hardware. It
Well,
just
Call
wasn't
of
going to
Duty
happen.
4 did run on the Wii, and it was excellent.
Was it excellent?
Yeah, it was actually really good
Okay,
on the
okay,
Wii. I promise you, it was a great time. It came out the same
okay.
day Modern Warfare 2 came out on the 360.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it
It was
was.
a weird
Because I don't remember
weird
it.
situation.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, if you're confident that GTA 6 will run on the Switch too, I mean,
Let's do it,
I'm not
man.
saying that it can't. I'm just saying that if we look at if we look at the past of it, but I just don't expect unless unless the Switch 2 just blows us out of the water and its graphical performance and just performance in general, that would be awesome because hell yeah, I would love to see Nintendo at the top of their game as far as performance
Yeah.
goes and
I
being very competitive with Xbox and PlayStation. But
and I would like to see like their own games look a
yeah,
lot better too. Like imagine, Tears of the Kingdom running 60.
yeah.
That'd be
And see,
great.
that's the big thing too. As long as they can get like the next Zelda game like at least 60, I'm pretty cool with that. Just
Nowhere to
because
give
like
it up. Yeah.
yeah, just because I mean Tears of the Kingdom, great, incredible game. Had some performance issues for sure.
Yeah. I mean, same as Breath of the Wild,
Yeah,
you
same
know.
with Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I would love the Nintendo to be on like on the absolute top of their game. I mean, GameCube was like the most powerful out of the three back in the day, and they haven't
They haven't
been
really cared about it since because they've
what.
focused on their gimmicks and
Yeah, because GameCube didn't really sell. I mean, it didn't really have a gimmick other than
being small.
being small and the weird discs. I mean, I love the GameCube. Like, it's a cool
Yeah.
console. I guess it had the handle that was pretty unique. Um, but yeah, I would love to see GTA 6 run. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Um,
Nintendo
yeah,
top games.
Nintendo. Yeah, let me pull it up here.
Harrison, yours is a little skewed.
It
You have a
is.
son who
Yeah. So I've got two Switches. I've got my OLED, which is mine, and then Kellen's got my old Switch. And he periodically, depending on the game, he'll play my file like Among Us is my technically most play game this year, and that could be a little bit skewed. It's at 369 hours that he's played.
Mhm.
It could be slightly skewed because if he gets mad and quits, he'll just turn the Switch off or change the channel and doesn't actually turn the Switch off itself. Like he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it could be sitting there for a while before it actually just times out and quits.
Yeah.
And then same with Minecraft, it's at 100. He's got 100 hours, and that's just on my file, which I think that's pretty recent because I've logged into my Microsoft account, so he's able to download like skins and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that's pretty recent, as of like a couple months ago. I'm not sure what he has on it
Oh
on
God.
his personal file. It's probably a ridiculous amount, but my number one game is Zelda. I'm at 132 hours for the year.
Nice. Oh, mine's at 131.
Ah,
That's funny.
I like Zelda more than you.
You like it more? Hey, I can't dispute it.
Let's see. What else is there? I know there's some more stuff. Yep, Among Us. Okay, okay. That's like the details of it. Okay. Um, my most played month was June. That's when Zelda launched.
Yeah, natural.
Um,
How many? What was your? I guess this is also skewed, but what's your total games played and then total hours?
yeah, let me pull it up here. How do I go to total?
It would have been on one of the like
Oh, okay.
slides. Or
29 total games and 796 total hours. But
skewed.
500 of that maybe is not me.
Okay, because mine is 52 games and 506
Okay.
hours.
But you played a lot more Fire Emblem than I did.
Yeah, so my top three were Tears of the Kingdom 131, Stardew Valley 57, and then Fire Emblem Engage 49 hours.
Wow. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, that's
Great,
always fun.
great list. Yeah.
Always fun going through this. Let's see.
And then Xbox.
And Bison, he asked, would you like new versions? I'm assuming of Zelda, maybe, that he's asking at 60 frames per second. I don't know if I would pay for a new version of Tears of the Kingdom for like the Switch 2, but if they did either port it over for free, which I don't think that they will, but if they did something like maybe PS5, like you mentioned, for $10, yeah, I'd drop $10 or so to play their Breath of the Wild in 60 frames or something, just to try it out. But I don't know if I would buy a whole second copy of the game.
Yeah, I say that now.
Until it comes with something, I don't know.
Until it includes some sort of exclusive content, DLC. I don't know.
Yeah. I want to say no at this moment in time, but if there was a upgrade path, I that would be cool.
Yeah.
Xbox, Nick, how
My number one is Starfield with 58 hours.
Okay.
Number two is Session Skate Sim, 49 hours. And then number three is Resident Evil 4, 45 hours.
Nice. So our number 3 is the same then. I got Resident Evil 4.
Nice.
I'm at 56 hours for that game.
Wow, you liked it better.
My number 1 game was Dragon Ball FighterZ. At 103 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Again, it could be a little bit skewed because my friend and I, on Saturdays we'll play it. We'll play some matches. We'll go upstairs, come back down, play a couple other matches, and then I might leave it on for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Anticipating we're going to come back down, and then we just never do. So it might be a little bit skewed in that regard, but still 103 hours. But this one's not. Halo Infinite is my number 2, and it's also at 103 hours, or just maybe a little bit off. So that's changed. It was like 96 last week, and it's
oh dang. Okay.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been loving Halo, man. They got the new battle, or the new
season 2.
It's not the new season. It's like a new event coming out tomorrow.
Oh, what is that called? Can't remember.
The winter contingency. It's like the 3, whatever. Total games 45 for the year. Total achievements 348, 7,287 points in achievements, and total of 604 hours for the year.
Nice. Mine's pretty close. Total time 366. Total games 51. 345 achievements, and then 6,000 gamer score. I'm trying to think, 51 games. I don't even know what it must, like, a lot of it was probably Game Pass, me just trying out a random game for an hour.
I was at 45, and you played Starfield, or not Starfield, Stardew Valley. So you played probably some other stuff that I just hadn't played.
Yeah. I know I've randomly downloaded some Game Pass games and tried them out.
And then some cool stats that I like here. So I'm in the top 10% of players for hours played total. I'm at 5%, the top 5% of players for gamer score.
Hey, me too.
And I'm in the top 5% in achievements unlocked as as well.
Nice.
I'm in the top 5% for Dragon Ball Fighters. I'm in the top 5% for Halo Infinite, and I'm top 20% for RE4 remake.
Wait, what are you for fighters? Top
5%.
Wow. Okay, I'm top 5 in session. Yeah, top 25 Starfield, and then top 30
Didn't you
for
not
Halo.
unlock a single achievement for session? Like, what are the achievements that you're not unlocking?
I have 3 achievements. There's like there's I don't want to call it a story, but there's like quests you can do, and you just go to places and do random tricks. I'm like, listen,
You just want to do a
on my
sesh.
freaking vibe, dude. I
Yeah,
just want
it's
to.
all
I'll go to one spot and spend an hour there. Like, we're chilling, man.
Yeah, it's a quick little sesh. It's all good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Anything else? Any other cool stats?
No, I think that's it.
I was seeing some people who, and it's kind of some Xbots, to be honest, but they were hyping up Starfield, showing that they had like 500 hours in the game already.
Wow.
And I did the math, and I was like, dude, that's like most of the time from the past 3 months that it's been out. Like, what have you been doing? Like, have you only been like eat, sleep, Starfield? Has that been your steez?
I guess. I mean,
I don't.
Bill Spencer's got like he's got more hours than you and I both have combined, and he's the freaking CEO of Xbox.
Hey man, he's a gamer for the people. Yeah, he's a true gamer.
He had Starfield up in there. He had something else too that was like close to 100 hours. So hey man.
Yeah, I can't remember what else he had on there.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
I don't think he had Redfall.
No, I don't think Redfall was on there. And if it was, it's like, all right. Are you padding the numbers here?
Let me see. I'm gonna Google it real quick.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to Bill. I don't know how he has time to play all these games and run a company, but hey.
Yeah, what is he doing? I wonder if some of it is his kids
just in a meeting. It's like, Phil, what are you looking at? Hi, let's play Starfield.
Yeah. Dang, yeah, he's played a lot. I don't know if he shared his top 3. I know he did. Starfield 148, Diablo 4 143, and then Pillars of Eternity 124.
He's an RPG guy.
He is.
That's cool.
It's clear as day.
That's cool.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. All right, and then just the last kind of, I guess we're gonna end on a bummer here, but
yeah,
the news story. James McCaffrey passed away. He's the voice actor behind Max Payne and Alex Casey from Alan Wake 2, which incredible performance by him on specifically Alex Casey. I'm pretty sure it's the same voice that he does for Max Payne, but man, he just sounds so cool. Like the entire game. Like anytime like they were doing the what was it? It was in Alan Wake. It was in the
in the dark place.
The dark place. I wanted to say the upside down, but no, the dark place. Whenever they were doing like the story stuff and that, just so cool, man. Hearing that the monologues and stuff.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's sad. He was 65 and he had passed away from cancer. So yeah, definitely sad.
Definitely a bummer, but at least we got to get him for one last
incredible performance. I wonder if he
recorded an EDO for like the expansions or anything,
or for like a Max Payne. I think there were rumors of a Max Payne remake or something coming out. So I wonder.
For 1 and 2.
Wonder if he's done anything else. Yeah,
that would be cool. Yeah, bummer. Not a good way to end the news segment, but
our bad.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to end it that way.
It was supposed to be Blade, but we had already talked about Blade.
Quick, what's some other news?
But yeah, Nick, we probably gonna skip next week, right? With Christmas, all that stuff. I don't anticipate anything newsworthy coming out.
Yeah, we'll probably hang tight. Probably hang tight next week, and then geez, we'll next
When do we want to
podcast game of the year.
do? When do we want to do the game of the year stuff?
I'll let the be up to you. I know you have that week off. I know you're gonna be probably playing a lot of games.
Yeah,
If you wanted, we can do it January 1st, or shit, is that a Monday?
yeah. That's New Year's Day. That's New Year's Day, right? Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so we might do it on the podcast would definitely not be January 1st. It might be the 2nd or the 3rd.
yeah.
So we can do it then, or we can do it the week after. I'm fine either way. Like I'll probably just be playing Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we might
probably
come
one of
back
those
on
2
the
weeks.
I mean, and we don't have. I mean, do we? If we feel like we need more time, and we can always come back and just do a regular show,
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
Tuesday, and then we can do game of the year stuff the week after.
Yeah, let's do that.
That way we have
Just a
plenty of
little bit
time
more
to.
time.
Yeah, it's
Get
our
our
show.
ducks in a row. Yeah, we can do it. We can do whatever we want. We can do it in March if we want to.
Exactly.
Fiscal year end.
I mean, because there's not. I mean, there's nothing coming out, right? In
like in December?
No, in like early January, right?
Prince of Persia is coming out, I think, pretty early January, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's like January 17th because there's a demo coming out on the 11th, I think. January 11th.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know if you watched the trailer for it.
It looks sick, dude.
Dude,
It looks like Metroid Dread.
Yeah, yeah, and like some Hollow Knight vibes to it.
What the fuck is Hollow Knight?
what is this?
Speaking of which,
oh god, dude. If they were to stealth release Hollow Knight in the last week of 2023, I would just play it. I'll play it. Okay.
I will say I'm a little burned from these like holiday releases from last year's abomination that was Sports Story.
Oh yeah, they did have like that was around this time, right?
They did like a 5 days of Christmas thing where they revealed or released a new game every day or revealed something or had a trailer. And that was Shadow dropped on the last day.
I guess they're not
think it
doing
was
that this
around
year, huh?
the 14th or 15th. Yeah. God, that game freaking sucked.
That's a shame.
I was so excited. I loved Golf Story, and that one just.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were hyped for that one, but yeah, because everyone was thinking Hollow Knight was going to be the Shadow drop, and here we are a year later, and it's still not freaking out.
Jeez.
Oh god. Whatever. 2024 Hollow Knight. All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap up the show. We'll definitely be back. Good. What are you gonna say?
Real quick, one more thing.
Yeah.
Since you're playing Sea of Stars, do you know what's going on with, or do you know about the completionist, Gerard?
I know that his sprite is getting removed out of the game, and I know very little about. I don't know. He had like some sort of charity event that he got the money from, but never actually.
It's like charity fraud. Like he does Indieland every year. And he's supposed to be donating that money to charity. Like it's been an ongoing thing, not just a one-time charity event.
Oh, gotcha.
He's had this Open Hand Foundation since 2012.
I mean, what came up? Because I never really watched any of his stuff, so I didn't really know.
See, I was a fan of it. I really liked his stuff because he would like go through games and complete them and like have a really cool analysis about them. And
so I mean, what came up? Because I really don't know. I know OJ's done a couple of videos, player essence about it.
Yeah,
and I've seen some stuff on Twitter, but I know because it was like one of those things where it's like, all right, so there's the fraud thing, and then he got accused of it, and then everyone like kind of jumped down his throat about it, and then he was like, no, actually.
And then they released, and then the people that were making videos of him released like audio footage of him kind of incriminating himself in a way, but essentially he had his family had like a golf charity event and they were raising money for dementia research and he had Indieland that he would do every year to promote indies, and then all that money was supposed to go towards charity and then be donated to dementia research. Charity, I mean, a lot of these foundations are, but they're pretty much a middleman for donating to actual like research,
Yeah.
facilities. But it came out that like none of the money had actually been donated, and it was still sitting in their account. So there was like $600,000 as of last
Sitting
year
in Gerard's account, or like in the charity that he
in the charity
but
that
he owned the charity, right?
runs.
Okay.
Yeah, or at least he runs it partially with his family, I think. But the money was still sitting there. And people were like, "What the hell?" Like I donated 3 years ago with the expectation that that money was, immediately going to be donated, and that was kind of the tip of the iceberg. And then, for all of like the Indie Land stuff, he kept reiterating that, all of the Twitch donations, all the Twitch subs, all the bits that got donated would go directly to dementia research. And
Yeah.
then he said that some of it was used to cover the costs of the Indie Land, which is a personal event, so it's not necessarily illegal for him to use, like, or not, definitely not moral for him to use those donations
Yeah.
towards a personal event when it's supposed to be, it's supposed to go towards charity. So all this stuff is coming out. So he's pretty much done for, which sucks because I thought he seemed like a really cool guy, but
It's just like,
you never know.
I don't know. It's yeah. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard when there's like these internet personalities that are seemingly cool, but then they turn out to not to be. But
And also don't donate to a charity fund. Just donate directly to
whatever you want to donate to, like St.
yeah
Jude's or
yeah
something like that. Whatever.
like anyone who is doing a charity event through Twitch or whatever. They're going to donate that money and they're going to get the tax write off for it.
Yeah.
Like that's their benefit. Like it's like Food Lion or Harris Teeter when they ask you if you want to
bring in the
round
can.
up
Yeah,
for,
round up. You bring in your canned
like,
goods.
why am I giving you a tax write off?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
So
I mean, like obviously he's a pretty predominant YouTuber, right? Like he has like millions of subscribers.
He's like 1.5 million.
So he's not hurting for cash, as
Well,
far as we're aware.
like,
So like, why would you?
It didn't look like he was taking money out of that account, but
Just sitting there.
his rationalization was that like he wanted to do a restricted donation, which means that the money can only be used for a very specific cause, but he needed enough money to make it a restricted donation. But that was kind of debunked.
Yeah.
As well. So I don't know. Can't trust anyone.
No. Yeah.
But anyways, he had a kind of a side character in Sea of Stars, and like a relatively prominent side character that you see like multiple times throughout the game.
Do you remember the character's name?
So his name is Gerard the Completionist. I think it was Gerard the Builder.
Okay.
Something like that. But yeah, like there was no way to rename him because it had his likeness as well, so they just changed the avatar.
So have they already done that?
They've done it on PC. I don't know if they've done it on Switch and consoles as well.
Okay.
Well, if you come across Gerard the Builder, you'll know that they haven't patched it yet.
Like I'm not giving you nothing. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, that's always a bummer when stuff like that happens. But hey, people, just because people are on the internet and they're popular doesn't mean they're necessarily good people.
That's true. I mean, we've seen so much come out about so many different people on YouTube over the past few years. Like, you never know.
Yeah,
you really never know.
Yeah, never know. All right, guys, we'll be back on. We're gonna take next week off, for the holiday break. So hopefully everyone enjoys that time with family, and if you got vacation saved up and can use that, that's awesome. Playing some games, getting caught up on that never-ending backlog. I'm gonna try to make a little bit of a dent in that for myself. Nick, you're
Don't
gonna.
just play Halo.
I'm probably gonna play a lot of Halo, but I'll also be playing some other stuff too. It's so good, man. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back on January 2nd. That's a Tuesday, so we'll record it and then we'll have it up on Wednesday. And then after that, we'll do our game of the year stuff. All right, guys. Well, we'll see y'all next year.
See you next year. Bye bye.
Bye bye.